In the studio this morning from the Monmouth-Roseville School District is Superintendent Ed Fletcher. Hi, Ed.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing well.
Good. Looks like you had a pretty solid board meeting last night with a lot of details.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuff to talk about last night. So we approved a budget for fiscal year 26. This year we have a balanced budget. The one thing that I told the board about, it just seemingly is probably like this in a lot of school districts, is, supplies like for operations and maintenance and those types of things are going up and have continued to go up the last few years. Transportation costs, leases have increased significantly. So we had a large bump recently where it was about a 50% increase. Now we're starting to see, as we renew our leases, they're more manageable, 3.5-4% increases, but cumulatively over the last few years, they've just increased significantly. So, it's kind of like gas prices. They used to be 98 cents, and then, then it went up to $3 or $4 a gallon, and now we're okay with $3 a gallon. So it's kind of the same concept in the sense that over time, the leases have gone up significantly.
Talking with Tom Hawkins and Stacey Day last Friday, these are very impactful on their budget, these increases, including the bus leases.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, so you have to, you as a superintendent, you look at where you can take unrestricted funds and you have to cover that. There's always a deficit because the transportation money we get from the state is being prorated. The levy, the max levy for that, our costs are about $1.6 million, and we're able to levy 40 cents, and that brings in maybe $200,000. Your levy doesn't even cover it. So you just have to move money around from different funds, the unrestricted funds, to be able to make it work. And we've had a deficit in that fund for several years, and I don't anticipate it getting any better because costs keep going up.
What is our cost of the budget? What does it cost to run the Monmouth-Roseville School District?
Our budget this year is around $20 million.
Okay. What was it compared to when you first started? Especially with these increases that we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, I'd say $15 million back then. Okay. 80% of our expenses, or about 80% is payroll. So, the other expenses, something might go up, but you have enough wiggle room within the budget itself to maybe reduce some areas of spending. And, there are some fixed costs. You got to have health insurance. You got to buy books, and you got to have or now it's online materials or whatever it is. So there's some years where you have some fairly large increases, but then the next year it might go down a little bit. But in total, it's gone up around $5 million.
Okay.
Our enrollment, I gave the board a quick update on our enrollment. Our 6-day enrollment has increased by 35 students this year, so we're happy to see that increase. I keep a cumulative number. Since the 06-07 school year, the district itself, Monmouth-Roseville, has lost about 170 students. So, but that's over a long period of time. So I think it's part of a nationwide trend that you're going to have less students, but some years we're up, some years we're down. So, also talked to the school board about our new SRO, Larry Myers, doing a great job, hit the ground running, working with some families, communicating with families about attendance, working on different, crisis emergency plans and responses to crisis that could come up. So, it's nice to be able to have a person such as Officer Myers be able to help behind the scenes to shore up what we already have, because none of us in the education world are experts on that. Having a person who can help us and shore that up and help provide training and go through some of the finer things that you don't usually deal with until you have something occur. So it's very nice to have that. We're very grateful. The new scoreboard at the softball field at South Park has been installed, so it's a really good addition. I'm really happy about that. It kind of completes that project now. So we're really excited about that field and that for the girls to have their own home field to play on.
And anything special about the scoreboard, or was it
just a digital scoreboard?
Okay.
We sold through Nevco. We sold ads,
okay.
And after a certain amount of time, the revenue pays for that scoreboard, and then once that scoreboard is paid off, that revenue comes to the school district.
Okay.
So it's the same thing with the high school gym. When we did that, we did it through Nevco. So really excited to have that there. So
Hey, question about enrollment real quick before we move on. You said 170 students lost since 06-07, 35 gained this year. What is our total enrollment at MR?
6-day enrollment was 1,482.
Okay.
Now, that does not include pre-K. So you throw in pre-K, you add in another 120. But that 6-day enrollment is the Illinois State Board of Education's enrollment because pre-K is non-compulsory.
Okay.
So another thing that we did, and people might see if they go down into junior high, is there was a basketball court outside the parking lot there, and it wasn't in great shape. And we had someone who informed the district why that court was there. It was in memory of Joe Toomey. He was the youngest sibling of Pat and Melba Toomey. He passed away from cancer in his early 30s, and so we didn't know. There was no institutional knowledge that knew what the court was there for, at least that we were aware of. And so once we heard that, we knew we needed to do something. So we've resurfaced it, putting up new hoops. I know it's going to be painted. I don't think it's painted yet. I think there has to be a certain amount of time for the asphalt to cure, but then we'll paint it. And as I said earlier, I think we're anticipating a few 6'8" power forwards moving into the area because of that. So that's part of the hope there.
That's special to make sure that's taken care of.
Yeah. There's
anytime memorial dedications. So good for you guys to recognize the memory of Joe Toomey and enliven that again.
Yeah, it's very nice to know, not that, because, I don't know how often it gets used. Sometimes the kids use it during the school year, sometimes they don't. But we're not aware of how much they might use it, when no one's at the school.
Well, they're going to be a lot more apt to use it with new pavement, new asphalt, once the lines get painted, and new hoops. It's a basketball.
Well, yeah,
it's time.
We're hoping that
ball.
I think we might put, how some places have the things where you can put books. We're going to put those little goggles so they can't look at their hands when they dribble.
Sure.
So we're going to try to improve the dribbling skills of our kids down in Roseville. I talked to the board about the new cell phone policy at the high school. Mr. Matthews has said that not having cell phones has been a huge success.
Yeah, he said that during the school spotlight a week ago. We were really pleased to hear. He said that they could see students' faces again, their mental health had improved.
Yeah, and I think the other aspect is, that sometimes it goes unnoticed or undiscussed, is the kids there haven't been a lot of pushback, or from the parents. And so that just goes to show you, I think there is probably an undertow of like, hey, maybe we should do this. And now we've done it and there hasn't been much pushback. You're going to get some. We've had some, but I think it's a testament to the parents and the kids. When you put good, reasonable rules in place, kids will go, yeah, okay, we get it. Sometimes, and I've been in that spot before as a school administrator where, you get a little bit weird with your rules, a little crazy, and for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction when you deal with kids. And in this case, kids are like, yeah, we're good.
Good.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Talked to board about a couple upcoming dates. I know the Hall of Achievement is this Saturday, the ceremony.
We had Robin Johnson on yesterday. For those that might want to hear it, that's on our podcast. Luke Raymond's coming up.
Yes.
We've had Sean Temple. So it's going to be a big deal on Friday night and Saturday.
Yes. It's at 10 a.m. at the Warren County History Museum. Not being from the area and when I go there, I mean, I cry. It's so powerful to see people being recognized. If you haven't gone, do yourself a favor and go.
You'll be in the parade tomorrow?
Yes, I mean
Friday.
Yes, I told Sean off the air I'll curtsy to him now from now on because now he's the distinguished Sean Temple.
Yes.
The other big thing we want to make sure parents are aware of is the change in the parade route. I think because of some of the construction going on Main, I'm not exactly sure, the emphasis why, but there's or impetus why but we're changing the route. So the parade route is going to be coming south on A Street out of the high school parking lot, and then they're going to go west on West 2nd Avenue. Then they'll go north on South C Street. And then they'll go west on Broadway to Sunny Lane.
Okay.
The other thing is we want to make sure that parents remember is please do not drive down Sunny Lane until the parade is over. I think, and I wasn't there last year on that part of the route, but I think there was some congestion and some stuff that parents are trying to get kids on South Sunny Lane. And
Well, you have a big pregame party that starts at 4:30.
Yes.
So there's going to be a lot of people showing up at Sunny Lane to do the tailgating and all that entails before the game.
Yeah, so we're asking them, don't drive down Sunny Lane, or maybe park yourself over at the soccer near the soccer field and walk and get your kids. But evidently there was a lot of congestion with that last year. So, but it's an exciting week for the kids.
It is. It is.
We had a report last night of our student council, all the great things they're doing at the high school. Helping kids, learn leadership skills, talk in front of people. I mean, that's a big thing nowadays. Learning how to give speeches and talk. And so. Drew Carlson did that last night. Did a great job. So we're
good.
Been a great start to the school year. We're super excited, for now, and the weather will start to turn. And
okay, it sure is. But for now, it's going to be in the 80s. I mean, this month it's 80s and 50s. Once we get through these 90s, so meaning lows at night, upper 50s, lower 60s. So
finally, yes,
yep.
Let it stay for a while. I'm ready. I'm ready for that.
Okay, and thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.